Greetings and welcome to episode 209 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander. I'm joined this week by the glorious one, Mr. Daffyd Moody. How are you doing? That's a stupid question. I know how you're doing. I know how everybody's doing at the moment.
I'm going to try and do my best interpretation of Katra. Hey, Amy.
Fair enough.
She goes, hey, Adora.
Hey, Adora. I mean, I know the reference.
You're not.
You don't need to school me on Shira. I get it.
Right. Okay.
I get it. I'm tired. I don't know about you.
I am tired, but I am good. I can't deny that.
It's been a long week.
It has indeed. There's no doubt about it. A lot of the craziness that's going on in the world. Yeah, it's hard to watch. There's no doubt about that. It's been I've been queer. I've spoken to many people thinking, should I say something? Should I? Or anything like that. I'm just I'll say right now, as you can see right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am just a white male. So, and everything like that. How am I able to support and everything? And thankfully, the people I've spoken to say yes, if you and everything, especially if I believe in the things that what I believe in and everything, equality and all, and racism and everything like that. That's something I should definitely shout out. But the beginning of the week was pretty hard just to see what was, because I hate seeing people in pain. I hate seeing people suffering, and it's especially when I know I can't. No, especially if I cannot physically do anything to try and help in any way, and it has been a very painful week. There's no doubt about it. Overall, I'm by the end of the week. At the end of the week, we're at the end of the week now. I'm overall good. I've got a little bit better for each day and everything, but yeah.
Like we touched on it last week. Excuse me. Like we touched on it last week. Talking about the protests, the Black Lives Matter movement, George Floyd, the just what's been going on in America. Everybody knows what's been going on in America and around the world. At this point, I feel like it'd be impossible to miss. I feel but I sat down and I was like, I know we talked about it last week, but so much happened between the Sunday night, which was when we recorded the podcast, to the Sunday night now, which is when we recorded this podcast, and I kind of sat down a couple of times over the last few days to think, I'm going to write something, and I'll read it, and it'll be eloquent, and it'll say everything that I want it to say, and it'll say everything that I need it to say. And nothing came out because it's very difficult to know what to say. Like you said, I'm white. It's impossible to miss that fact. And there's a lot of pain going around and a lot of trauma, and I see it. I see all of it, and I do what I can to try and help in my own small ways, to retweet things, to step aside almost, but to let black voices and black people to the forefront. Because it's not about my voice is important as a white person, but it's not the most important. It's not near the most important voice that you should be listening to. Yeah. So I've just been kind of all week. I've been saying less and listening more, which I think is something that we all need to do. Especially that second part. There'll be... Go on.
No, I was going to say, and educate. If you're not sure about certain things, educate yourself. Ask questions and everything like that. You're not going to get criticized or anything like that just for asking the question. If you are unsure, the only way you every day, ladies and gentlemen, us as a species in general, we are learning every single day. You never stop learning until the day you sadly pass away. Hopefully that'll be into your late hundreds and everything like that.
Depending on where medical science goes.
That is true as well.
No, I mean, I always say the same thing. As a trans person, it's okay to ask questions. I mean, as long as you're being reasonable, you're not being you know, like some people.
A douche.
Yeah, let's go
And
with
that's
that.
being kind.
Like ask a question. Like I'm not gonna get offended if you don't know something, because like it was all new to me like a few years ago, and I learned by asking questions. Like, and that's the only way you're gonna learn. Ask questions. At the same time, it is also important to educate yourself. Like, don't put the burden of education on, in this case, black people. Like black people you know, black people you don't know. It's important. Like, you can learn a lot of this yourself if you go looking for the answers. And it's important not to expect anyone to educate you, like for you. I don't know. It's a lot of conflicting emotions and things that I feel, and it's hard to verbalize. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this when it's like I have a hard time verbalizing anger. Like when I'm angry about something, I have a hard time expressing that. You probably noticed when I was streaming Bloodborne earlier today. Um, like it's it's difficult, and there's just so much. But I think it's important that we all support each other as best we can.
Yeah.
I hope that was eloquent enough. Like like I say, I couldn't find the words, and I still can't find the words.
Yeah, I had spoke to a couple of people who died, say my podcast has just come out today and everything like that, and I put something at the beginning explaining what we're with these people, we're right there with them, we're supporting them in best ways we can in whatever ways that is, and that for me was just like I feel for hopefully for the people who listen to this podcast will be an escapism. To have just a time just where you can just chill and just listen to hopefully myself and Amy or other podcasts and everything like that out there, just to enjoy yourself. But um, we're all here together. We're all here to support you the best way we can, even if it's just like what we're doing now. It's just chatting and hopefully about some games and everything like that.
Yeah, 100%. This is a conversation that's not going to go away, so we'll be talking about this for a long time to come.
Well, I hope so. I hope
Yeah.
so, because that's the biggest fear. If from a personal friend of ours, that's his biggest fear, that it will just vanish like that and just go back to normal. And I hope it doesn't.
Like,
It does seem like it's bigger than it's ever been before.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. There's a lot of worldwide protests. There's a lot of retweeting. There's a lot of there's a lot of what's been called hashtag. The word escapes me. Um, there's a lot of stuff going on, like trending on Twitter and finding like throw a rock in any direction on Twitter, you'll find something about Black Lives Matter, or about protests, or about something else. And yeah, like that's I feel is the most important part right now. I 100% agree. Like we can't just forget this. Like it's never gonna be at this intensity forever. It can't be. It can't. We as people we won't like can't keep that up. But
yeah.
it should like I hope it never goes away. Like I hope that now it's been lit. Like now the fuse has been lit. Like I hope we follow through on it. Like
Mm-hmm. Just keep on pushing. Just keep on pushing. Do it respectfully. Like a lot of people are. Like I said, I know there's a lot of things that we see online and everything like that, and that's just a small view, a small people who go a little bit too far. But it's on both sides and everything like that. But the protests, for the most part, are very, very respectful. So
the
just
protests are
keep on going.
peaceful. Like
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
yeah. Just keep on doing. Make your voices heard. You do that, you're gonna get somewhere. You really are. And hopefully, we'll see what happens.
Oh well, and we'll talk
But we are
about it.
with you. We are all with you.
And we specifically are as well. Like reach out if you ever need someone to talk to you. We're here. We've got nothing better to do.
We'll always listen.
We'll
We
always
will
listen.
always listen. Yeah.
Like even if like we don't have the words to say exactly what we're feeling or what we're thinking, we'll always be here to listen. 100%. Black Lives Matter.
Yes, they do.
This is the part where I would jovially segue, really awkwardly, into saying that this is the Words Upon Gamescast. Every single Monday, we discuss what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture over the past 7 days, and take a look at the future. In this week's episode, we discuss the news, including black streamers gaining more black streamers gaining more support following Black Lives Matter protests across the world, Call of Duty developers finally deciding to address in-game racism, and more. Then, we'll go over all the new game announcements, release dates, and delays that happened over the past week, give you a content drop where we recommend smart articles you should read and videos you should watch, except this time now it's content creators, tell you what games are coming over the next 7 days, before playing OpenCritic head-to-head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. And as always, we'll wrap the show up with a post-show discussion to chat about whatever's on our mind. Really, Bloodborne's on my mind, so get ready for that.
Baby ass baby would give me that and I'll be all good.
There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can watch any particular part of this podcast you so desire in any particular order that you so desire. There'll also be more links, just like last week. There'll be more links to Black Lives Matter charities, fundraisers, foundations related to everything that's going on. If you can support, do support. I personally, I can't monetarily support. If you can't, that's fine. Just share things. Just share things on social media, whatever social medias you use. Because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It's also Pride Month, Mooney.
Yeah.
Like, how messed up, is that? I caught a glimpse of the t-shirt I was wearing on purpose. As I was looking at the webcam, just thinking, it's Pride Month.
That's the thing about it. That's the thing, you don't know how to feel, especially, I can only imagine how it is for you personally. I have no idea for that, but
This is
all supporting
important.
each other.
It's
important on both sides. This thing right now is going. It is important, but say Pride Month is important as well.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not in any way upset or anything that this is. No, I'm not anyway. That never crossed my mind. It's just, the thought just crossed my mind that it's Pride Month. I should probably say Happy Pride, but I saw a fantastic piece of artwork of that I retweeted on Twitter. Someone drew of a unicorn that was covered in blood, and it was its face was all skeleton. It was we cancelled Gay Pride. This month is Gay Wrath. And I was yeah, I feel that. Sorry. Let's jump into the news. This is a really long article from Kotaku that you should definitely go and read. I only pulled a very small part of it for one specific thought, one specific bit of it. It addresses a lot of different things. It would have been the entire podcast had I pulled the entire article, which, wouldn't have been anything wrong with that, but I feel like it would have just been us repeating the same thing we just said over and over again.
Yeah.
Had I pulled the full article. So instead, black streamers are grateful for new Twitch viewers, but heartbroken it took police violence to make it happen. This is from Nathan Grayson, over at Kotaku, who writes, many black streamers have received unprecedented support in recent days. On Tuesday, and I don't know how to pronounce the username, Tanya DePass, Cypherofter, I believe, is the Twitch username, who in the past has dealt with sustained stalking-based harassment that Twitch failed to address until recently, raised $142,781 for national non-profit The Bail Project in a single charity stream. Quote, "Y'all, I am flummoxed, absolutely flummoxed," she wrote on Twitter of the stream's aftermath. I had a goal of $500 this morning, thinking folks will be worn out after a hard month of fundraising. You all proved me so wrong today, and I'm humbled, grateful, and thankful for everyone. $142,781 raised in 10.5 hours. End quote. Other black streamers like DJ Knight, Black Girl Gamers, Ebonix, and Iron Brandon have also run successful charity streams, and countless others like Story Mode Bear, Black Oni, J-Rock, Sensei CJ, and Ocadrian, I get it, Ocadrian, have educated their audiences and engaged them in difficult conversations about race and oppression. Meanwhile, big names like Lupo have been passing around lists of black streamers to follow and support. But it's been bittersweet. On one hand, those creators are receiving more attention than ever. On the other, it's pretty telling that it's only just now happening in this particular moment. Quote, I'm glad that black creators are finally being recognised, but at this cost, really? Said Iron Brandon on Twitter, calling for Twitch to assign partner managers who serve as direct line between streamers and Twitch to more black creators. We've been here this whole time and making some pretty dope stuff, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm pretty disappointed to see some companies now trying to find black folks to use for their content. Elevate us all the time, not just for Black History Month. It took us dying for years before some of these brands opened their eyes to see there are black creators they could be supporting. Take that in. End quote. A separate quote here from Black Girl Gamers on Twitter. Quote, the only other time I've seen this many non-black people tag/mention BGG this much is when we're receiving racist vitriol. As much as we're grateful to receive new support, BGG is not a proxy for doing the work regarding police brutality. Run those pockets, sign those petitions. End quote. So this is a point like it's come up around social media I've seen. I know our friend MCFixer, youtube.com/MCFixer, twitch.tv/MCFixer, talked about it on his podcast by Xbox and me. I think we were both watching it live. In which that I can't imagine how that feels.
Yeah,
I can't.
It's scary, really. At the same time, like say, I don't want to, like what you just said. None of us can imagine what that feels like. Like I'm so happy that he's getting, like all of them. I should be saying that they're getting all this great recognition and long last and everything, but it is with kind of backhanded.
Yeah, very,
With
like,
kinda, a lot of it is very backhanded, and and I know a lot of the people who are shouting them out and everything like that. It's probably not for them. It probably isn't intended to come across backhanded, but from their side of point of view, I can definitely see why they think it's probably very backhanded.
Yeah.
Like our friend, like he just hit 250 subs today, and he's so happy, but he is so conflicted, and I can see it, and it's killing him. And I'm just like, yeah, it's a hard thing. It really is. Like these people, I'll admit I haven't heard about a lot of these people who are streamers or anything like that. I keep to my small little bubble who are watching everything like that because I don't really watch that much streaming. I openly admit that. But it's heartbreaking to see that, like I said, like one of like the black gamer girl, like she says, like the only time they get attacked, they get harassed. One at the beginning, wasn't it? Who says she's had stalker-based harassment that Twitch didn't do anything for a long time. It's disgusting. Like and then you go to the thing, going back to our friend Fixer. He goes on Twitch all the time. He loves Twitch. He watches all the time. He supports us
forever
for 5-6 years, I think now, if I remember rightly.
I met him in, God, when did I meet him?
3-4 years ago now?
3-4 years ago, it must have been. It was at an EGX. It was Five Guys in Birmingham. Luckily, I was wearing a Resident Evil t-shirt. That was like a magnet. And from then, we've just been like that.
Yeah, two t-shirt type for him to if he's gonna come straight to you, ladies and gentlemen. Resident Evil or Kind of Funny. If you got one of those two on there, he's going towards
Well, we
you.
were at a Kind of Funny meetup, so everybody else was wearing Kind of Funny t-shirts, and I didn't have any Kind of Funny stuff, so I was wearing a Stars Raccoon police department t-shirt, and he was just like, "It's a Resident Evil t-shirt." And I was like, "Yep." He goes, "Resident Evil is my favorite. Resident Evil's like my favorite game," and I was like, "Oh my god, mine too." And then we were that entire night we were inseparable. But I digress. That's just a nice story. He was giving me a business card back then, and like he's not stopped since then.
Yeah.
Like, and
he works his ass off. Yeah. He works his ass off on, especially on Twitch. Like the love and everything he's getting, it's just like when you can see it's great. Yeah.
Why? Like, I mean, I know the answer. Why now?
We all know the answer. That's the thing about it. Yeah. Like he's got companies talking to him now, and he knows why they're doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the thing about it, and that's even worse to him. That's even horrible. Worse to him. And then I bet it's even worse to all these people you've just shouted out there, and who you're going to be shouting out later on. Yeah. It's probably even worse.
Yeah. And this goes back to what we were talking about before, where it's just like this can't just be for this week, for this month, for this year. Like, this has to be all the time. Like,
from now often.
Yeah. We've, like, collectively, like, we've learned, right? Like, we've learned a lesson. And we need to keep that. And yeah. Not fuck up.
That's the thing. This is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is very difficult for us. That's the thing. I'm sure you were open for games and everything like we're talking about, but these are things that are very important and they need to be talked about. Like, it's killing us both here. That, like, we've probably got jobs because of our skin, and I hate that. I hate that. If that has ever happened to me, I might have got a job just because I'm male, and that hates me. That kills me even more. And everything, and that's unfair, and everything. It's a disgusting thing, and it kills both of us here. We hope, like I say, this isn't like it doesn't just go back like that. This is truly the stepping point that where it's getting pushed in the right direction and everything for everybody. And it doesn't just help, like, when people... I've seen the stupidest of thing, all lives matter. I've seen Black Lives Matter means all lives matter. People, just educate yourself and have a look at this. And it's literally going towards, like, what you've just said at the beginning of that. It's Pride Month this month, ladies and gentlemen. It's not Pride Month once a month. It's Pride Month every single year, every single day. Especially to, like, for you, Amy, and to everybody else. It should be like that for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move forward. Let's move past this. Let's not make people suffer and feel like they're getting backhand compliments just because of their skin color or of their sexual orientation or of what sex they are in. Like, let's move forward past this. It kills us all. It really, really does.
I knew this was going to happen. Would you mind reading the next story?
I will try my best for Amy, no problem at all. The next story, ladies and gentlemen, is Call of Duty is cracking down on racist content in Warzone and Modern Warfare. The article is from Sheriff Sader. Thank you, sorry.
No problem.
From VG247. Infinity Ward has vowed to be more proactive in banning racist content in Call of Duty. Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone developer Infinity Ward has admitted that it needs to do better to counter racism in its online games. Going forward, the developer will be taking a more aggressive approach to racist and hateful clan tags, usernames, and other offensive content. To start, the developer will be dedicating more resources to monitor and ban racist user content across the game. The in-game reporting tool will be expanded to include racist names and the likes of possible reasons of filing a report. Infinity Ward is aiming to increase the number of bans per hour. The developer is also exploring ways to make it easier for players to report. Technical upgrades including, quote, greater restrictions on name changes as well as smarter filters to prevent these usernames from being made in the first place. Lastly, Infinity Ward will punish repeat offenders with permanent bans. This looks to be the level. Let's start again. This looks to be on the level of the developers' approach to cheating in Warzone. The changes made then had a visible effect on the numbers of cheaters in the game. So hopefully the similar success will be found in the battle against racist players. In other Call of Duty news, Activision postponed the new season of both Warzone and Modern Warfare and mobile indefinitely. This is fantastic. This is what should be. Yes, I'll say right now. Is it late? Yes, we all know it's late. Let's just be fair. Let's be frank. It's late. But
what the fuck took so long?
Yeah, agreed. There's no doubt about it. What took so long, ladies and gentlemen? We all know this is true. Is it like we were just talking about on the last thing? Is it backhanded because of what's happening right now? Yeah, it is. But as long, like we were saying, change happens. That's the main thing about this. We love video games. We love them. I'm trying to become a developer. Amy reviews them. We want to support them in any way we can, and sadly, we have seen silly, disgusting names on with people's taglines or something like that. We have sadly seen that.
I mean, we've heard it in voice chat, and there's a reason we don't talk on voice chat. There's a reason why, like, we only really I can't speak for you. I can't speak for anyone else. There's a reason why I only play competitive multiplayer games with people that I know. Like, there's a reason I built a 6-person team for Overwatch. There's a reason why we have an Apex squad group chat, and if no one is available in that group chat, I just don't play Apex Legends. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm happy. I'm so happy that this is happening, because Call of Duty is one of the biggest games on the planet.
That makes it why
people love it, but that also pisses me off so much that it's taken so long. Like, one of my the first multiplayer game I ever played. I'm going somewhere with this, so hold on. I'm gonna be driving. It's gonna be a winding road. I'm gonna be driving for a while, but the first online multiplayer game I played, and probably a lot of people around my age played, was Halo 2. Because when it came out, it invented a lot of multiplayer, like, concepts that we still see today. And, like, legitimately, one of the first memories I ever have of playing Halo 2 online. I used to play with my friend Russell, and I used to play with another friend, Matthew. And we were just playing a match. And back then, everybody was on voice chat, right? Like, everybody was on voice chat. You could hear what everybody was saying. If the enemy players got close enough, you could hear what they were saying. It wasn't a thing where anybody thought not to do it. Probably because it was new and shiny and whatnot. So we were just playing a match. We were playing a capture the flag match. It was towards the end of the game, where I don't even remember what map. There's a hill with the flag, and there's a tunnel behind, and people can come from any different direction. And we're waiting for them to come, because it's the end. They've only got to get one cap, and then they'll win. If they don't, we win. And we could hear the shouting. Like, we heard the Jeep that they were in coming, and we're like, all right, cool, they're coming in the Jeep, which means they're going to come in a certain direction. We heard shouting as they got closer, because as they got closer, we could hear the other team talk, like, what they were saying, and then we heard, like, explosions, and it was really strange. And we ran around the corner because we were like, shit, defend, and they were fighting each other. And then the match ended, and when the match ends, it goes into the lobby, and everybody can hear what everybody's saying at that point. Like, it's like an open voice chat room, and there was silence, and one person just shouted out as loud as possible, "I'm not a Nazi, you fucking Jew," and then quit out of the game. And then somebody else on the other team, I can't even remember what they said now. It was the person they were referring to, said something, and everybody started laughing because whatever they said was really funny. That was in 2004. Like, this has been happening since 2004. Probably earlier, because online gaming came to PC well before it came to Xbox. Like, I mean, I used to play Call of Duty 4 online, and this was a thing in Call of Duty 4. Like, this could have been done so much earlier. And I don't want to take away from the fact that it is a good thing, and I am happy that it's being done, but this could have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
done so long ago. And the fact that it's taken all of this to do it,
yeah.
you get that
It do,
conflicting feeling.
it pisses you off. It does, because especially as Activision is one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget this. They are one of the. They have consistently in the top 10 one of the best-selling games every year in Call of Duty, and for them to start this now, and let's not forget this. It is because of what's happening. We all know this. We aren't blind to the situation, and it's great that it's happening, but it should have happened earlier. Activision should have been on top of this a lot earlier. But this is the thing about it, like we said at the beginning, it's education, it's getting onto this and everything like that, and that's what it is now. It's help each other, it's educate each other and everything like that, and if this is the way to do this.
Yeah.
This is the way to do this.
Now, I want to be clear.
You may be late, and you'll always get a little criticism because you're late to it, but I'll still go thumbs up. You're doing it. That's the main thing. That's ultimately all that matters.
Blessing Adeoye Jr. and Kind of Fun in Games. I've just remembered what he said about this, and I'm going to repeat it because it was fantastic. Better late than never, but never late is better.
Yeah.
We've got a few more stories where it's not going to be pretty. My language is not going to be pretty. There is going to be some positivity at the end of the tunnel. Don't worry, this is not going to be a 100% completely depressing one. I wanted to get that out of the way because the next news story, Moody, I was ready to throw hands. I was ready to throw hands at this one. Quantic Dream CEO rightfully roasted over Black Lives Matter comments. This is from Jasmine Henry over at J Station X. A really nice, inclusivity-focused gaming website I just found out about this past week. You should definitely have a look at it. J Station X. It's actually quite nice.
J Station X. I'll have a look at that.
Guillaume de Fondomé, the co-CEO of Detroit Become Human developer Quantic Dream, is criticised for his comments on Black Lives Matter. De Fondomé comments came in response to global protests against racial injustice and police brutality. In 2018, Quantic Dream was criticised for the Martin Luther King Jr. references in Detroit Become Human. On Twitter, Quantic Dream co-CEO Guillaume de Fondomé tweeted and deleted a tone-deaf response to anti-racism protests. De Fondomé's original post included the term All Lives Matter and said that this sort of prejudice is what Detroit Become Human is all about. Few fans appreciated de Fondomé, saying that it was more than a little ironic that this is being tweeted by a co-CEO of Quantic Dream, a company which has had its own scandal about a racist studio culture, and has said that Detroit Become Human is about androids and not politics. The term All Lives Matter has also been used to dismiss anti-black racism, and de Fondomé also seemed to be promoting his game. The Quantic Dream CEO chose to delete the tweet, posting a new version not long after. The new tweet said Black Lives Matter and not All Lives Matter, which was a marginal improvement, but again ended by talking about Detroit Become Human. I think did we do this in group chat?
We chatted a little about it. It was basically the you were ready to blow up.
I think you saw the white hot fury
I saw it, but I didn't feel it. I feel like I should run away right now, just to be on the safe side.
And again, if you say All Lives Matter, like you're already ready to get a backhand. It's just a backhand from me, to be perfectly frank. And then he ended the fucking tweet by promoting his stupid fucking Android game, and I lost it. Like we've seen a lot of statements from a lot of different companies, and people who run a lot of different companies about Black Lives Matter, and you know what? I'll take them. Like the whole white text on a black background thing doesn't really, like, it's like bare minimum stuff, but at least there's some, like, a lot of companies are doing it. Like, even the shittiest fucking companies I can think of weren't trying to sell their fucking products on the back of this. Like Guillaume de Fondermere, and like one of the co-CEOs of Quantic Dream, like, get the fuck out of here. Trying to sell your game, which when you had the opportunity to say yes, like years, I can't remember when this was. I remember me and Keith talked about it on a podcast once. Like, you had the opportunity to say this is a game that is trying to say something, and you instead said this was David Cage, not Du Fondermere, but you instead said that no, this isn't a political game. This is just about fucking androids, and now you try and do this. Fuck off. And there you go. That's the white hot fury that Moody saw in my eyes. Quantic Dream can go fuck themselves. I don't really care who hears me say it. Fucking Jesus. I almost launched my phone when I saw that tweet.
I can understand that. Like, yeah, I only know the bare minimum of what's happened at Quantic Dream and everything like that. Thankfully, like I say, a lot of it's educated from you for telling me and everything. Yeah, it's stupid. It's this guy was just being an idiot, and don't try and sell your game. Modern your game's been out for like 2 or 3 years now, so get over it. You should be undoing your new. You should be personally undoing your new game, basically, sir.
Even without all the rest of the context of the allegations of a racist studio culture, and even without all of the context of David Cage trying to claim his game as apolitical, when it literally includes quotes from Martin Luther King Jr., they're so fucking ham-fisted. But to then try and say, oh, it is political, like, but again, like, even taking that context out of it, just saying, just don't fucking try and sell people your game while you're trying to, like, put out your statement of Black Lives Matter. Like, what the fuck goes through people's heads sometimes? God, I don't think I've raised my voice like that on a podcast in a very long time.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to do what he said and everything like that. Like, I think sometimes people, especially people who consider themselves very smart, I think they really do think people are stupid, and we aren't. We do see things.
We see everything. Like, this is the thing. We're going to talk about 2 more news stories where it's like people, like, the implication is these people seem to think we're fucking idiots, but we see things. We see it. Don't think we don't. Like, oh, you deleted the tweet and updated it. Cool. It's the internet. Mate, that tweet's gone nowhere.
Yeah. Someone screen capped it. Guaranteed. Detroit Become Human is a very political game, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Facts.
Facts.
Take away the Martin Luther King references. It's still very political.
It's not.
You are literally protesting and marching, and you see the president and everything in the background. It's like it's very political.
It's a very political game. Like, a lot of these games that companies will try and tell you aren't political are actually fucking political. Like,
yeah, and I think they should just stand on the. Sometimes I think people should just stand on the sword and go with it.
The issue is
sometimes just be honest.
The issue is, and we're going to talk about this in a couple of news stories about a certain PC, my favorite PC storefront. That like Fixer said this in his podcast. I actually remember it. I literally watched it last night. Where it's like there are companies out there that don't want to piss off anyone, so they They don't want to lose their... Like, I think he was talking about influencers not wanting to lose their followers. It's the same principle. These companies don't want to lose sales. And as Fixer put it, again, youtube.com/MCFixer... youtube.com/MyXbox Go and check out the podcast. It's fucking amazing. The first 15 minutes especially, like, the whole thing is great. The first 15 minutes were amazing. Like, he said it, like, so you want racist followers. And it's the same thing with these companies, where it's like, so do you just want racist customers? You don't want to piss off the racists. Fantastic. That's a great stance to take for a company.
Yeah.
That was sarcasm, by the way, in case anyone tries to clip that out of context. Because this is 2020.
I'll write it down. Sarcasm to score.
Furious sarcasm.
furious sarcasm. Yeah, it's. Let's move on to the next one because I think it's going to be a constant circle right now. We're going in circles.
We're going in circles. We're going to be don't worry, we've got two more. I might shout again. None of this one. This one just made me laugh. Next news story. Blizzard tweeted about Black Lives Matter, but gamers aren't having it. This is from Thomas Bardwell from CNN, who writes, gaming publisher Blizzard had to have known that their show of support for the George Floyd protests wasn't going to go over well, but they did it anyway, and boy did gamers let them have it. Blizzard has a checkered past when it comes to politically charged controversies, and critics were quick to label the company's support for Black Lives Matter an exercise in hypocrisy. This all dates back to September 2019. Fuck me, it wasn't even a year. Moody, it wasn't even a year ago.
No, it wasn't.
When Blizzard hit headlines over the controversial ban of Wei Chung, also known as BlerdSong, a professional Hearthstone player. If that sounds familiar, we spent 5 weeks, 5 straight weeks. That was the #1 story on this podcast.
Yeah.
Fun times.
I was with 3 of them, I think.
You were in on some of them, yeah, because I remember you being here. Because I think it was right after Keith had left. And I think he was glad he did, because those were some heated podcasts. So anyway. During a live stream interview at the 2019 Hearthstone Grandmasters, BlerdSong, clad in the Hong Kong protest movement's symbolic face mask, voices support for the public demonstrations against laws permitting the extradition of citizens to mainland China. Blizzard booted BlerdSong from the competition, banned him for 12 months, and confiscated his earnings due to the violations of competition rules, which forbid political discourse. After significant backlash, Blizzard apologised for the heavy-handed approach, reducing BlerdSong's ban to 6 months and reinstating his earnings. It's also not mentioned here, but the 2 commentators who were interviewing BlerdSong were also banned for 12 months. And the initial ruling, I believe their ban was rescinded. 9 months later, riding a wave of similar shows of support from other gaming companies, Blizzard expressed their support for the ongoing Black Lives Matter protests with a message posted to Twitter. The stance has caused a fierce backlash among the gaming community. Many gamers were quick to highlight the perceived contradiction of Blizzard's stance. They torched the publisher for cashing in on free publicity and falling in line with numerous other gaming companies who voiced similar support. Fucking hypocrites. The first I saw of Blizzard, I knew a statement was coming. The first I saw of Blizzard's statement was somebody quote retweeted it. I don't remember who. Sorry. Who just said this would have gotten you banned from one of your esports competitions.
During your esports competition, you would have banned them. Yeah.
If Blizzard, if someone had said this in their esports competition, they would have banned them. But Blizzard gets to say it. I get it. Companies want to show support for the Black Lives Matter movement, but there are some companies where the context is important. The Washington Redskins, for example. Context is really important. Because, they have a racist fucking team name. Blizzard banned someone for this exact thing. For saying this exact thing. In less words. And they could have blunted the reaction to this so badly. By just being contrite, by just having some fucking contrition when they sent this statement out and just said, look, you know what, we fucked it. Last September, when we did the BlerdSong thing, we totally fucked up, and we shouldn't have done that. Instead, they were just like, Black Lives Matter, we're supporting Black Lives. It's a nice sentiment, but it's so hypocritical that they even said it. Sorry.
The thing is, they think they have apologized. Like I said, they have quote-unquote apologized at BlizzCon.
I mean, their apology amounted to, we're sorry we offended you.
Yeah. But that's the thing. To them, they probably are. I think the higher ups here, I'm just thinking, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not thinking the developers or anything like that.
We went in on Blizzard last year. Again, we're talking company, not the developers, who probably had nothing to do with this statement, with the BlerdSong situation or anything like that.
I bet half of them probably, even more than half of them probably just like, oh god.
Blizzard Entertainment has sent a tweet.
Boom, boom.
Oh shit! Just seeing the future.
They really are. Probably. I was just like, I just want to develop Diablo 5. Stop making my life hard and everything. But the thing is, when it comes to this statement, we have to give. For me, I feel like we have to give them a little bit of the benefit of that. Yes, it is very hypocritical. There's no doubt about this. But they said they wanted to be better. This is them hopefully being better. They have to consistently state this and be this type of thing. If they hear sort of things coming back out of stupidness that they do, that goes completely against what they're hopefully trying to spout here. I completely agree with everything what everyone's saying, even you, Amy, that the hypocrisy is it's like you're stupid for even doing this, Activision, but I see why you've done it to show support. But it is very hypocritical because of the stuff with the last year and everything. But hopefully this is them moving a step forward. Like I said at the beginning of it, it's education. Hopefully they are educating themselves. They've realized the stupidness of the end of last year, and they are moving forward. That is the hope. We can all hope. I want to be playing Diablo 5 when it comes out. I want to be supporting those amazing developers who are working there. 4, is it? I thought it was 5.
It's 5.
Damn. I said 5 twice now.
I let it slide 4. The second time because you were like on a roll, and this time I was like, I'm just gonna hold the fingers up.
I have to tell.
But I better just do it. Yeah, better just do it. 5.
4. Yeah, I want to be supporting that game when it comes out and everything. And hopefully, like I said, they are moving forward. They are educating themselves and everything. But everybody who has got onto them about this, you've done nothing wrong here. They needed to be called out. And hopefully, I say when. That's the thing about it. I hear to say if something similar that happens in the world where the developers are coming out and supporting somebody or something like that, they have to do it again. And continue this, and you can call them out again for it. Again, that's not a problem at all. But like I say, if they constantly keep supporting and doing the right things, then that means your negativity should lower on them.
Oh, but 1,000%.
Yeah,
like I said, all they had to do was just add a couple of sentences to what they'd said. I mean, it also would have been nice if they'd donated $1 million to Black Lives Matter. But I'll take what I can get from a giant mega corporation owned by Activision. They just had to add a couple of sentences to the end that just said, "Look, we know how this looks." And they could have even said exactly what you just said. But we're trying to move forward. This is part of, and they've got all those buzzwords up on the Blizzard website about how they're fucking corporate buzzwords that I didn't bother remembering from last September. Never mind now. You know what I mean? They could have just done that. And I probably would have still called them hypocrites. Most people probably would have still called them hypocrites.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have been mad. But yeah, my first reaction to seeing Blizzard put out a statement was laughter. Not because derisive laughter. It was just like, oh my, oh my, what the fuck? I can't believe you've done this. But still, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like the next company. Their actions don't surprise me in the slightest either.
Yeah, you're holding them accountable, ladies and gentlemen. You're doing right. Let's keep it going. But if they, like I say, if they do actually truly change, that's fantastic on their behalf.
That's awesome news,
and that's what we want to see.
But we'll see. Time will tell. Like I always say, when companies issue apologies or say they're going to do something. I've said this multiple times about Riot Games, about THQ Nordic, about Blizzard. It's keep holding them to account, but also be receptive to them actually changing. And if they don't change, just keep giving them it. And if they do change, sometimes you just say, okay, fair play, you actually did change.
If they do something right, they deserve to get the love.
Yeah. THQ Nordic haven't put anything on there. Anything out, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I was done with that company a long time ago. You would have missed that. That had to have been more than a year ago. On the podcast, you might not have missed it. The THQ Nordic thing, where they did an Ask Me Anything on 8chan, which is you know how bad 4chan is, right? For racism, sexism, transphobia, everything. 8chan is the place where the people who are too much for 4chan go, and THQ Nordic did an AMA on 8chan, which ended up being full of, we did a whole thing on it. I don't want to rehash it, but it does, they came out, oh, sorry, we didn't know. I haven't seen a Black Lives Matter post from THQ Nordic. It doesn't surprise me. That's an example of the opposite direction, where it's like they showed us exactly who they are in that moment when they did that thing. At least Blizzard are trying. Now they might have done a bad job this time, but hopefully they'll continue to try. I don't need companies. I don't need game companies. I don't need anyone to be perfect as long as you're trying. Like, it's trying and learning. That's all I need.
That's all you need to listen. If you're learning.
Speaking of a company that is neither trying nor learning, the Steam Game Festival delayed. Valve yet to issue statement on Black Lives Matter movement. This is from Wesley Yinpool over at Eurogamer. He writes, Valve has delayed its Steam Game Festival event without explanation. This summer's Steam Game Festival, which will let people play upcoming game demos from home, was set to go live on June 9th and run until June 14th. However, in a brief note to press issued to Eurogamer last night, which I believe was Friday, Valve said, quote, the Steam Game Festival has been rescheduled for Tuesday, June 16th through June 22nd, end quote. The company did not elaborate. And when Eurogamer, because I've seen this email, when Eurogamer say that's what the email said, I can confirm that's all the email said. That sentence. While it seems obvious the delay of the Steam Game Festival is about the ongoing protests across the globe against systemic racism and police brutality sparked by the killing of George Floyd, Valve did not explain its decision. Nor has it made any statement about the Black Lives movement so far, in contrast to the majority of video game publishers and developers. There is no mention of the movement on Valve's website, its social media channels, or on Steam itself. It seems Valve's lack of communication has impacted developers who are set to take part in the Steam Game Festival too. According to GamesIndustry.biz, Valve had led developers and publishers with games involved in the showcase to believe it would be going forward as planned right up until Valve's announcement in the afternoon, despite earlier delays to announcement showcase events such as the PC Gaming Show. Indeed, some involved with games set to appear at the festival only found out about its delay via a tweet. Valve has yet to comment. So, before we dive into the meat and bones of this, when I was talking earlier about a company that... When I was talking earlier about companies that don't stand up to this, that don't even put out statements, because they don't want to piss off their racist customers. Like, this is a prime example of it. Like, Steam... Look, there are so many people on Steam that there are about to be plenty and plenty and plenty of people who use Steam who are not racist in the slightest. But that platform is a cesspit in the comments, in the discussions, in the forums, the games that get released on there. Like, some of the games that get released on that platform, Moody, are fucking abhorrent. Like, horrifically transphobic, horrifically homophobic, horrifically racist. There are games in there with rape as an actual thing in the game. Not as a story, right? Where it's like maybe it's about the trauma of dealing with sexual assault. Just a thing that happens and it's fine and everybody laughs about it. Those are the kind of games that are on Steam. So when I see that Steam, just don't bother mentioning it. And don't bother mentioning it anyway. They've put out an email to say we're delaying the Steam Summer Game Festival, and they don't say why. When we all know why. We all know why they've delayed it. It's the same reason the PS5 reveal was delayed. It's the same reason the PC Gaming Show was delayed. It's the same reason everything was delayed. And I'm fine with everybody delaying stuff. But for Valve to just pretend that none of this is happening, because if they put out a statement in support of Black Lives Matter, tons of their users will get pissed off. It fucking infuriates me. It really does.
Go on, sorry.
No, that was it. I was just adding in, it really does, like an exclamation point at the end of my sentence. Fuck you, Valve, kind of thing.
I don't really use Steam that much. I don't go into the forums or the chat boards or anything for that. So, thankfully for myself, I have not seen any of the nasty things.
That's good. And again, that's fine. If you want to avoid it completely, go for it. Yeah. I can tell you some stories.
But thankfully, on YouTube, I have seen things like the games you've just said. Like they had a game that was on Steam that was of a school shooting.
School shooting
That's
simulator. Yeah.
yeah. No, why Valve that would have even been allowed at all is beyond me, and all the games that you've just mentioned, why that's even been allowed is beyond
Well,
me.
that was a game that
shouldn't.
thankfully was taken
It's
off.
beyond me, but to them, it's literally like, boom, just throw it out, blah blah blah, and everything like that. And like what you just said, they don't want to offend their racist, sexist, homophobic customers, and
Yeah.
it's
They don't.
disgusting, it's vile, and everything. The thing what even annoys me even more is that they didn't even tell the developers who are going to be on this thing that, oh, we're postponing it. I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that the PlayStation 5 event, they were literally ringing up every single developer who was going to be on that PlayStation 5 reveal, say, yo, it's a difficult decision, but we're going to postpone it because of this. I'm sure you all understand, like we all understood when it was revealed that it was postponed and everything. And I bet not a single one of those developers said, no problem, we understand. Some of them might have said, well, we want to put ours a little early if that's all, because the PlayStation, I guarantee you, know their date, their next date. They just haven't revealed it.
Yeah, they don't want to because like the whole point of delaying was to let like the important stuff matter. The important stuff, the other voices like be free. I like that's a terrible way to describe it. I'm sorry. I was reading something.
No, you're right.
But like they're not going to reveal the date until this week coming because they wanted to get out of the way, and them revealing the date isn't them getting out of the way. They did the right thing.
Yeah, they did the perfect thing, and that's brilliant. This just makes me go even more to the thing of, feel like I'm gonna go to the other place, Epic.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm gonna go to Epic for more often. And last year, or the first 2 years ago, or last year, whichever year it was, they were getting smashed like crazy. Just because they had exclusives and they were paying for companies to come to bring their games to the thing, and that their whole site wasn't as good as Steam's. Quote
well,
unquote.
they don't have discussion forums. By design.
Yay!
By design.
I'm going to say yay to that.
And then I'm pretty sure, let me just check, because I'm pretty sure they still...
I'll say right now, piss off to Reddit to your stupid discussion forums.
They don't have user reviews there. By design. Because those are two things, like, those are, oh, Jesus Christ.
When you hear sites, sorry for putting in for one last thing, when you hear, like, see things saying games are being review bombed because of certain things, I hate that. I absolutely hate it. It kicks me. I'm just thinking, if it's for like a legitimate thing for like what for the like we're talking about today and everything, it's pretty. It's fantastic. That's deserving for the company.
Yeah.
But Valve, man, come on! You're one of the biggest fucking companies in the world.
Yeah.
People scream at you, give us Halo flipping 3. Not Halo, Half-Life 3. Why did I say
going to say?
Started with a H. It started with a H. And Half-Life 3, for God's sakes. And you can't even do this. You can't even do it. You can't even come out and just say it. Because this is the thing. They know they, like you were saying, they know they can't. Because they're going to get smashed just like Activision Blizzard did. They'll get
I wish they fucking would. They should. Like, but they won't.
Their marketing team or whatever, social media people, are literally saying, no, don't put anything out.
Yeah, which is just...
Let people make up their own mind.
It's horrible. They'll probably put out a statement saying they've got that all lives matter energy about them. Like, I still use Steam, I have to. Review codes that come through for PC, like, I have to redeem them on whichever store that they are redeemable on. And if a game is on Steam, it's on Steam. So like a couple of years, 2-3 years ago, I don't remember when it was. Like, I also have a big library of games on Steam from when I used to buy all sorts in the sales and stuff like that. But a few years ago, I said I'm not gonna spend any more money on Steam. No, like I'll use Steam as much as I have to use Steam for this job, and that's it. And I think I've bought one game on Steam in that 2 or 3 years. But no, like I don't buy games on Steam. God no. Like I refuse to give them money because the one game I got was obviously Half-Life. Where the fuck else am I gonna get that, right? The yeah, I'd like just no, like they're a horrible company. Like in both the way that they're approaching the Black Lives Matter thing, because it's so patently obvious what they're doing. Yeah, and that is horrific and horrible. But also, like you say in that last paragraph, like when the PC Gaming Show and Guerrilla Collective got delayed, there were games that were supposed to be announced at those events that were then going to have playable demos on the Steam Summer Game Fest on the Monday. So they were announced on the Saturday. The plan was to be announced on the Saturday and for them to be playable from the Monday. And then both of those shows got delayed. So you had these game demos that were going to end up being on the Summer Game Fest, but the games were never going to be announced. It's like, and no one talked to them from Steam to say, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Like, they delayed at the last possible fucking moment. Like, with, like, no word. Like, developers are finding out about it on Twitter. How the fuck do you run your company? Like,
that's just arrogance now, though.
I cheered.
We're so big, you have to come to us
to
get your game on PC and everything like that. Thankfully, that's changing because of Epic.
I hope so. I cheered when
with the
amazing,
with the like the thing that we talked about when the Unreal Engine 5 was revealed, like the companies are getting like £1 million of their profits earlier or whatever, something, wasn't it? I can't fully remember the full thing.
I believe their first $1 million of revenue
goes
be
to
theirs.
the company.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You don't hear Valve doing that, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, no,
you don't hear Steam doing that whatsoever. They're never going to, because this thing makes them so much money. They're only going to change when it starts hitting them in where it hurts them, and that's sadly probably not going to be for a long time.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately. But it's nice to have an alternative. It's nice to have not just one alternative. There are plenty of alternatives to Steam.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. There's itch.io, Discord, GOG, Humble. Like, there are plenty of alternatives to Steam, but yeah.
Go give them the love. If Valve is, if this is just like it is for Amy and me and everything like that, if Valve is like a company or Steam you do not want to be supporting in any way, don't be on their platform. Go away from them. Buy the games on Epic. Epic have multiple sales every week.
Like, how many free games have I got? I don't even want to think about how many free games I've gotten from Epic.
Well, what is it? The last few ones has been Grand Theft Auto 5 and Civilization 4 or 5?
6. The newest one.
6? Yeah.
And
there's the new one. And Borderlands, the Handsome Collection.
Oh, yeah. And I saw another one as well. I can't remember what it is, but it was good. It was like, oh, that's free. Shit.
I'll have to have a look at it when I get off, when we finish. So it's just, download it. Boom. It's yours.
Cool. So here's a lot. This is going to take me a minute to get through. And I'm quite glad it's going to take me a while to get through. So what I did after putting the document together, putting all of that back to back, knowing you, knowing me. And I know that's a song. It's an ABBA song. But it's also like the sentence I just said. Knowing you and knowing me. We were going to be pissed. And there's going to be an angry energy for the first hour or so of the podcast. And wouldn't you know, for the first hour of the podcast, there's been sort of an angry energy to the podcast. So I went through many different websites, different Twitter accounts. And I wanted to just take a moment just to go through what all of these game companies are actually doing. So what I've actually written here is game companies that followed words with actions. So you're not going to hear me saying all the different statements that all of the game companies have made. Instead, this is just purely what they're doing. Like, what they've actually done, not just what they've said. Also, and this isn't in here, you should definitely go and check out Ben & Jerry's statement about Black Lives Matter, because fucking Jesus, it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, see it. Ben & Jerry's just went above and beyond, seriously. I'm eating Ben & Jerry's.
Are they giving free ice cream?
No. Like, you know how most statements from most companies, I'm getting into it. Most statements from most companies are basically like, we support Black Lives Matter movement, like, all Black Lives, very, like, it's supportive, but, like, very sort of bland, almost. Like, in a way. Fucking Ben & Jerry's, like, put out, like, a blog post, like, 2-page blog post, which was just like, yeah, fuck white supremacy, fuck police brutality, fuck the KK. Like, that's not what it said, But that's like me paraphrasing the content that's in there. It's amazing, and it's like it's an ice cream company, and they're just like fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Anyway,
Nice.
here we go. We got some. Here's all the positive things game companies have been doing, and if I've missed anything, I apologize. There's a lot going on. So first up, we got Microsoft using their platform to amplify the Black and African American community at Microsoft, starting with a statement from a 7-year company veteran, Megan Carpenter, that read, quote, "I personally don't want the flashy signs or symbols of allyship. I'm not looking for the buttons and t-shirts and hashtags. I want an ally who pays attention to what is happening outside their own community perspective. I want an ally who knows that these things are happening to people like me, without me needing to tell them that they are happening to people like me." End quote. Microsoft also pledged $1.5 million to Black Lives Matter, the Equal Justice Initiative, Innocence, the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights, the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and the NAACP. They're also matching 100% of employee donations. Electronic Arts, via their Madden NFL Twitter account, announced they will be donating $1 million to Black Lives Matter. Ubisoft announced that they are making a $100,000 contribution to the NAACP and Black Lives Matter and encouraged others to donate. Riot Games pledged to donate to multiple causes via the Riot Games Social Impact Fund and also pledged to match up to $1,000 per Riot employee for qualifying donations. Bungie shared resources alongside messages of support, including links to Black Lives Matter, the Anti-Racism Center, Showing Up for Racial Justice, Color Lines, and the Equal Justice Initiative. Double Fine Productions released a long and impassioned statement and donated $12,000 to Black Lives Matter, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and Color of Change. Sega announced it would be donating an unspecified amount for worthy causes and would match its employees' donations. Excuse me a second. Employees at The Last of Us developer Naughty Dog have been donating to various organisations, and PlayStation is matching these with its own donations. The Pokemon Company donated $100,000 to the NAACP and $100,000 to Black Lives Matter. Strap in for this next one. Niantic pledged to donate the proceeds from the Pokemon Go 2020 Fest ticket sales, committing a minimum of $5 million. Half of this will go towards new projects from Black gaming and AR creators that can live on the Niantic platform, while the other half will go to US non-profit organisations that are helping local communities rebuild. Niantic is also donating $100,000 to the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, which advocates for black trans people, and matching employee donations up to $50,000. Chucklefish offered free information sessions for black game developers and said it's also donating to organisations fighting against racial oppression and to those who nurture and support black talent. GamesIndustry.biz and a number of its sister websites will be donating to Black Lives Matter, Black Visions Collective, Minnesota Freedom Fund, the NAACP, and other charities, local bail funds, and organisations dedicated to ending injustice, oppression, and discrimination. Devolver Digital donated $65,000 in support of Black Lives Matter. Untitled Goose Game creator House donated $10,000 to a mix of community and bail funds. Journey creator That Games Company donated $20,000 to Black Lives Matter and the NAACP. Japanese publisher Square Enix donated $250,000 to Black Lives Matter and other charities. It will also match all employee donations to Black Lives Matter or other organisations of their choosing. RuneScape developer Jagex pledged £60,000 to the Stephen Lawrence Charitable Trust and is matching employee donations to organisations fighting racial prejudice. Surgeon Simulator creator Bossa Studios will donate $100 per employee and match employee donations to Black Lives Matter. The Long Dark developer Hinterland Games donated to Black Lives Matter and the Minnesota Freedom Fund. Obsidian Games donated $25,000 to the NAACP. Rockstar Games recently shut down GTA Online and Red Dead Online in a moment of silence for George Floyd. The EVO esports tournament organiser donated $15,000 to be split equally between the NAACP, We Love Lake Street, and We Love Lake Street. Sorry. Games Done Quick donated $2,500 to We Love Lake Street. It's also pledged to donate all of its Twitch subscriptions and revenues raised throughout June to the NAACP. There's something I've missed on here. I've just realised I've missed it. Moody, could you read the last 5 while I just find something?
What from Games Done Quick?
So humble,
Of
humble onwards.
Humble. Okay. Humble has announced the creation of a $1 million fund that will be dedicated to publishing games from Black developers. In its tweet, it promised more information about this fund and quote other ways to be actively supporting organizations end quote in the near future. Indie indie marketplace each.io is
Oh, I
putting
did put it in
together.
there. Sorry. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's the one I thought I'd missed. Sorry.
Okay, no, is putting together a charity game bundle to raise money for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and Community Bail Fund. Developers are invited to contribute their games and other projects. The bundle launched on June 5th for a minimum of $5. It will be available through June 15th, and proceeds will split evenly between two funds. You want to
Just
say something?
just on that one, because obviously I must have pulled that information before it was launched, which is why I didn't clock it. The Itch.io bundle, the bundle of indie games that you can buy for $5, has 740 games in it, worth
Wow.
$3,400, and you can get that for a minimum of $5, which will go to support Black Lives Matter.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm getting a new PC hopefully at the end of the year. I'm going to buy that just so I
I
have all those games for my new
highly
PC.
recommend it.
For $5, you get how many games in? 700, did you say?
More than
712.
740 games. I've
Ladies
just
and gentlemen, if that
I've
isn't
pulled
the
up
bargain
Polygon
of a
here.
lifetime, I don't know what is.
I've pulled up Polygon here. You can donate however much you'd like, from $5 onwards. You get games like Oxenfree, Overland, Art School, Wide Ocean, Big Jacket, Quadrilateral Cowboy, Gunhouse, Fortune 499, A Short Hike, A Mortician's Tale, and another 730 odd games.
Bonkers.
Yeah,
That's incredible. That's absolutely
yeah,
incredible. Shout out to them.
yeah, yeah.
Do you want me to finish off the last three?
Um,
I've started. I'll finish them. It's all
you
right.
go
You
for
can
it.
rest your voice. You've had a
Rest
lot
my
of speaking.
voice.
On June 19th, ladies and gentlemen, Microsoft-owned Mojang has pledged to donate all profits that day from the sale of Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons and all content in Minecraft Marketplace on Black Lives Matter Foundation's Equal Justice Initiative and the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund. The Sumo Group has donated the various anti-racist charities in the UK, Canada, and India. And Team 17 has donated to Stand Up to Racism.
So there you go. Big long list. Big long list.
I think the best thing here is literally just fantastic. Well done.
How many companies
this is
there
what
are
we
on
want
this
to
list?
see.
Yeah.
This is what we want to see, and this is fantastic. And like that one you just said just absolutely blew my mind. Itch.io, that's absolutely fantastic.
Because I didn't see the number as I was scanning down like quickly while I was reading. I was like, did I not put this in here? Yeah. And then obviously when you said Itch.io, I was like, okay, I did put it in there, but I obviously didn't put the details in there.
Yeah. This is what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this is where the supporting each other out there thing is. Like, it isn't just it is about supporting each other and everybody, and we're doing it in a fantastic way, and it's fantastic. I love what I'm seeing here, and bring it on more like this. More companies I'm loving to seeing do this and everything.
Like, actions to follow words. We've talked about it before. Like, words are easy, right? Like, any company with a PR department, or even not with a PR department, can put some white text on a black background and say, we stand by Black Lives. And that's a nice sentiment. It really is. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of these companies can do a lot. Like, I talked at the beginning of the podcast, like, we're going to have fundraising links in the description below this video. And I can't personally donate them right now because I am flat fucking broke. Like, but these companies can make huge differences, and some of them have, a lot of them have made huge differences to these fundraisers. And yeah, we're going to call out the ones that we see doing nothing, or the ones that we see doing the opposite of nothing, something bad. Like, that's not the opposite of nothing. Forget I said that part. Doing something shitty. But I also felt it was important to call out the companies that were doing something good. Like we said, we see what you're doing. And that goes for companies doing good as well as companies doing bad. In my book.
Good. Like I said, especially when a company's doing good, you shout them out like crazy, Legion. You say thank you to them. You shout out the developers and say, "Yo, I loved your games. Thank you very much, and this is amazing seeing you do this. Well done to every single one of them." There.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Where are we? Okay, there we are. Sorry, I've been scrolling around on this Chromebook so much. I was like, where the fuck do we end up? Here we are though. We've got what, on a normal week, might have been the #1 news story.
Yeah.
Kerbal Space Program 2 developers found out their project was cancelled via LinkedIn. This is from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, who writes, Take-Two pulled the development of Kerbal Space Program 2 from developer Star Theory, only to continue working on it in-house using team members it coaxed away after messaging them on LinkedIn. That's according to a new Bloomberg report. Jason Schreier, which also details how Star Theory, with their Kerbal Space Program 2 contract cancelled, has now gone under. Read the full article; it's incredibly fascinating, as always.
Oof.
Props to Jason.
It was a read.
It's his first Bloomberg piece, right?
No,
investigative
PlayStation reveal, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is his first deep dive investigative.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you've heard that.
What does he call himself? Press sneak fuck article. Yeah. that's his press sneak. It's a sarcastic thing. Yeah, I think that's him. Someone calls themselves that. Kerbal Space Program 2 was originally announced as a joint venture between Take-Two's publishing subsidiary Private Division and Star Theory, the studio behind Monday Night Combat and Planetary Annihilation. But in February this year, Take-Two announced it had formed a new studio to continue development of the game in-house using some of the same staff. Bloomberg's report details how staff first heard of Take-Two's plans after being contacted by the company on LinkedIn. Private Division exec Michael Cook told Star Theory staff that he had published had told Star Theory staff that the publisher had ended its contract with their employer, and that they would now be compensated for leaving to continue their work within Take-Two. The message was sent out on a Friday evening. The following Monday, Star Theory chiefs Bob Berry and Jonathan Maver told staff that Take-Two had been interested in buying the studio, but not for terms acceptable to the studio's founders. Take-Two, which publishes Grand Theft Auto, Borderlands, and various 2K sports games, said it would offer Star Theory staff, quote, a cash sign-on bonus, an excellent salary, bonus eligibility, and other benefits, end quote. Many took it. Others by Star Theory, a developer now without many of its staff and a project to work on. The studio drew up a last-ditch plan to save itself by giving staff 2 months to come up with creative ideas it could then pitch at Game Developers Conference. But this plan failed when coronavirus saw GDC cancelled and publishers' purse strings tighten. Star Theory shut down on the 4th of March, less than 2 months after Take-Two's new studio was announced. The full story over at Bloomberg is well worth a read. I mean, it's just a AAA publisher being as shitty as you would expect a AAA publisher to be. It's the sigh of resignation, but also this doesn't surprise me.
Everyone, if you listen to this podcast, especially with how long I've been on it now, know that I am learning to become a developer. I'm a QA developer. That's what I want to become. And I have connected with a few developers on LinkedIn and through Twitter and everything like that. And I've had private conversations with them about what's it like and everything like that. And and I also want to reiterate, this is just a very small bubble who I speak to. The rest of the companies and developers might have a completely different take. I just want to reiterate that. A lot of the people I spoke to have said, stay away from the big company. Especially if you want to get for your first job. Get into the indie ones. They will help you develop even more than you ever will. Continue your skills, what you've learned from college and university, and you can be a really good friendly atmosphere and everything. Now, I know I've spoken to someone who went from indie, started in indie, went to AAA, and then has now left AAA and gone back to indie. AAA experience, and I'm not going to quote I'm not going to say what company they were with. That's not my business. And it's not for me to say. Said it was not a good working environment for the pressure they were on consistently to try and pump their games out within the milestone they were working on. And things happened in his life where he felt like he needed to leave, and now he's much more happy in the place he's at. When I was like going to college, after like I was dreaming of like things of like, oh, I would love. Before I found out even more of the craziness of like certain developers and everything, I would love to work with this place or everything like that. I love BioWare games. I would love to maybe work with BioWare and everything like that. And hopefully BioWare, if they get their act together and you're a less pain in the ass on them, maybe one day, but who knows? But my aim is to move into the indie development scene. For me personally, when I get my degree and I'm moving on to find a job and everything, hearing this type of thing, I'll go back to that part in a minute. They've heard things like the big companies will try and squash an indie developer sometimes. And this has just happened. You can see it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Take-Two, one of the biggest companies in the world, has just crushed a developer. Not only, and I'll say this right now, I don't blame the people who left and move on to another job because they need that job security. They need that job security. I do not for me blame them whatsoever. Shit things, obviously, hopefully the thing that hurt even more is like obviously what's happened with the coronavirus, and I think it stopped them from hopefully finding some revenue to create a new game and everything. This is a big kick in the nuts. It really is to the little guy, to see the power hungry bastards, and I'm being generous with that word I'm saying, who have just done this, and it breaks my heart. It really, really does.
Well said. Well said. I don't need to add anything to that. I think you said everything you needed to say there. Everything I wanted to say. Especially the word bastard. I probably would have used that word myself.
Well, it's the one I'll go the furthest with. Like, I could say like worse, and I don't want. I'm trying to educate myself not to swear as much. When I say, if I say the F word, I try and say fudge instead.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Look, I'll swear enough for both of us. I already do. You've seen it. You've heard it. Like, you play Apex. Yeah. You watch me play Bloodborne for 4.5 hours. Like,
yeah.
I'll swear enough for both of us, plus Keith. Let's get to the game announcements. This was going to be, I imagine, a lot longer. It's quite short because, again, everything got delayed for very understandable reasons. But we do have a few announcements. The first one, Summer Games Done Quick 2020 Online, is happening between August 16th and August 23rd. I'm really happy, really excited that that's happening. I love Games Done Quick. So I'm really happy it's still going ahead. Total War Saga Troy. Now this one's a bit complicated. It's releasing on August 13th on the Epic Games Store, and it will be free for the first 24 hours following its release.
Wow, okay, that's okay. Get on the August 13th. Remind me that day.
Get it on that day. It will be free.
Yeah, get on that date, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself a free game.
Free brand new Total War game. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One this August. Project Cars 3 was revealed, coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One this summer, and Fogs has been delayed until later this year. Like I say, not a lot of movement.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Summer Games Done Quick 2020. I'll admit I haven't heard of it before, so I'm looking forward to that. You're excited, that makes me excited.
Games Done Quick, it's literally just it's a big charity fundraiser, which is just speedrunning, non-stop speedrunning, which is going to be on for like a week. It's GDQ, Games Done Quick. I don't know if you've heard of you've heard someone say GDQ.
That's awesome. I really like the Total War Saga thing. I think that's really good. Like I say, put it all in your put it in your diary, ladies and gentlemen. Set that reminder. August 13th. Get Epic Game Stores. Get this game for free. Pray to God. I hope that's not a sign to say, "Oh, we're gonna give it for free for 24 hours," because it sucks. Please don't suck.
Moody, no, don't sow those seeds. It's fine. It's fine. All right. It's fine.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not. This is still a fantastic deal either way. I'm so happy about Kingdom of Amalur. I loved that game when it came out. The combat was so good. It was so fluent how you switched between each weapon you had. I really enjoyed the combat. I really did. I had a lot of fun with that.
Sorry, that was really loud. Me moving on my chair there, and I was just like, that was really fucking loud. That was meant to be stealthy.
If anyone watched her stream, she wasn't stealthy in Bloodborne.
I wasn't stealthy in Bloodborne because I was just screaming obscenities at the screen.
That's true.
You should see the clip. I think, I don't know if you were there when it got clipped, but I got scared and didn't swear. But I didn't scream. I didn't swear. When I got the biggest jump scare I've had all year. And I didn't swear once.
What? Apart from me jump scaring you when I get jump scared?
I mean, yeah. Biggest jump scare game.
That just makes you laugh. That does make you laugh.
That does make me laugh. Okay. Content drops a little bit different this week. So normally I would give you a list. I would give you some articles and some videos that we've seen or we've read. And we've to go and read them, to go and watch them because we think they're interesting. This week, with everything that's going on, the content drop is going to be a list of black content creators and the links on where you can find them. And I highly, highly, highly recommend you actually go and check them out because they're really fucking talented. They are incredibly fucking talented. So I want you to pause this podcast. Don't pause this podcast. Whatever you want to do, but I want you to scroll down right now as you're watching this to that to the description. Scroll past those timestamps. Click some of these links. Show some love. Spread some love. There's some very talented people on this list. It's what I want. That's my birthday. It's my birthday as we're recording this podcast, and that is what I want for my birthday from you watching this podcast.
Happy birthday.
I wasn't looking for that.
People might be thinking, wait, you're just telling us now, Moody, where was your happy birthday? Check my Twitter. I already sang happy birthday. Well, I didn't sing it, but I said happy birthday.
That's all I want from all of you people watching the podcast right now. Everyone out there who's watching the podcast, go and subscribe to some of these people. Or all of them. All of them. Fuck it. Follow all of them. Don't know why I keep saying some. Follow fucking all of them. I guarantee it's worth it. Moody?
It's always worth it.
There are some games coming out this week. Not very many, but there's a few. On June 9th, we have Ys Memories of Selector coming to PS4. World famous red-haired adventurer Adol, that's an L. Yeah. Adol Kristen awakens in the unfamiliar land of Selector, remembering nothing more than his name. Join Adol and his new friends as he embarks on an adventure to map the wilderness and reclaim his memories in his beloved action RPG from Nihon Falcon. On June 11th, Samurai Showdown comes to PC. Over 10 years have passed since the last series installment. It is now time for Samurai Showdown to return in a brand new game featuring high-end visuals and gameplay. With its story set 1 year before the very first installment, warriors and combatants from various backgrounds with their own goals are about to battle to fulfill their destinies. Also on June 11th, Beyond Blue comes to PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Beyond Blue is a single-player, narrative-driven adventure that takes you deep into our planet's beating blue heart. Explore the awesome wonder and unbounded mystery that exists within the world's ocean. On June 12th, Warborn comes to PC. Deploy for battle in the Variable Armor, a technologically advanced suit of war. With turn-based tactics and quick-fire clashes, lead a strike force of deadly mecha to bring peace to the solar system in a 40-mission campaign. create your own maps, practice in skirmish, or battle across multiplayer. Boom. That's everything coming out. Not that much. Not a great deal. Not a huge amount. Boom. But if anything in there sounds interesting, sounds like it might tickle your fancy, give it a shot. I feel like I say this every week, Moody. I am really hoping someone is making toast in my house right now. Or this podcast may suddenly and abruptly end because something's burning in this house.
Well, I was in the kind of funny Zoom thing on Saturday, and my partner was sat behind me, and all they could see is a puff of smoke coming out behind me. It's like, is that Rudy? Is your house on fire? I say no. I was like, this is my partner.
It's just stuff, yeah.
Bless her.
All right. OpenCritic head-to-head next. This is the game every week myself and Moody play. We've tried to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest to the score at the time of recording the next episode gets 1 point. If you manage to guess a score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week, myself and Mr. Moody tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Command & Conquer Remastered Edition. Moody's been on a losing streak for a while. So...
You don't have to reiterate that.
I had to reiterate it. I had to. So I just wanted to put that out there. Last week, I guessed that Command & Conquer Remastered Edition would get an 82. Moody, you guessed it would get an 85. And at the time of recording, Command & Conquer Remastered Edition has an 86.
No, it's still at an 86.
It's still at an 86. I checked. What? Don't worry. Damn it. It's not going to move on a Sunday, mate. Sorry. You got a point. I don't know what you're complaining about.
No, that's
like,
true.
You won.
That's true.
Like, you didn't what? Like, you won. So that puts the current scores at Amy 10, Moody 8. I guessed closest for Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, Deep Rock Galactic, Mania, and Xenoblade Chronicles. I only put DC. Definitive Edition? That doesn't... What? What's the C stand for? Definitive Cut? Definitive Content?
Definitive...
Exactly, right? You just go Definitive
Collection, eh?
Collection. Definitive Collection. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, Command & Conquer Remastered, and guessed the score spot on for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. So only once, all year, has one of us managed to guess the score spot on.
Yeah, you were close for one.
I've been close a couple of times. You've been close a couple of times, but only once. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I'm pretty sure that was a 69 as well. If I remember correctly at the time.
Yeah.
This week, everybody out there, it's a big one. Last of Us Part 2 review embargo ends June 12th, which means we are going to be guessing the OpenCritic average of the most anticipated game of the year. As always, Mr. Moody, Mr. Daffod Moody, Mr. Daffod Glorious One Moody. You're up.
Whoa, this is what I well. I just want to be frank here. On the other thing that we're fighting over, if I want this beat to be high, I want this to be like really high when it comes to the scores. When this thing drops next week.
He's talking about Fantasy Game League, which we'll be doing an update for after the reviews drop.
That's true, yeah. Oh, it's gonna be This was my most anticipated game of the year. I can't wait for this game when it comes out on the 19th. The last one on OpenCritic got a 94. Will it beat a 94? Or will it stay with 94? Or will it drop a little bit lower? Oh,
that losing streak really put you in your own head, didn't it?
How many points did you say did it need to get for me to at least tie you? What number was that? Did you say? Did you say if it hit 94? If it hit 95, I would tie.
Yeah.
On the open score.
On Open
Fantasy score.
Well, I'll tell you what, Moody. Rather than guess, maths is easy.
That's true.
I'm just not very good at it. It'll only take me 2
Neither
seconds
am I.
to look it up.
I hate maths as well.
So 62, 72, 82, 90. So you need 29. So it would actually need a 94 because of how the point scoring works above 90. There you go. We would need a 94, and you and I would be tied on FantasyCritic.games. I've already written my answer down.
I know you've already written your answer down. That's the thing. I think you're gonna go high.
I just shut my eyes and I just go that. That's all I do.
No, I think you're good. I think for some reason I think you're gonna go 96 or 95. I don't know. You're gonna aim. You're gonna go. What was the saying you say? Go home, aim high, or go broke, or go home, isn't it?
Well, I would rather go out aiming high,
swinging, yeah,
than being conservative. I did say that. I did say that right before I didn't get any points for 3 weeks.
That's true. That's true.
I did miss.
And then I was on a 5-week losing streak after that until this week. Go with your heart, David, or go with your brain? Heart or brain? Heart or brain? Heart or brain?
Do you want me to flip a coin for you?
Heart or brain?
You know we've got a soft runtime, right? I mean, you can wrap this up at some point.
Hard it is. 95.
95. Interesting answer. I'm not going to ask if you're sure because I don't want another 5 minutes of you just saying heart and brain over and over again. Moody? We looked into
95, didn't you?
We looked into this last week, didn't we? We looked at the very, very top of OpenCritic because we knew that's where The Last of Us was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, Last of Us, you're right, it's right there. Last of Us Remastered, 94. Alongside Persona 5 Royal Divinity Original Sin 2 and a fuck ton of other games. It's in good company. Then you step up, you go to 195, you're looking at Grand Theft Auto 5, you're looking at God of War. Step up again. You're not. 95 is just God of War, my mistake. You step up again at 96. You got Grand Theft Auto 5, you got The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are titans. Those are titans. I almost called them Titanics, which would have been unfortunate. They are titans. There's a game up there with a 97, though, Moody. Super Mario Odyssey. One game out there by itself as the undisputed ruler of OpenCritic. Well, not from next Friday, it's not. 97. This game.
It's gonna be 96, isn't it?
It's
gonna be 96 right in the middle.
This game. Moody, you should have known where I was going with this. January 2020. We sit down with Keith and Russell and we say, predictions. What are your predictions for 2020? Moody, what was one of my predictions for 2020? You know what? You don't need to answer that. I'll tell you. One of my predictions for 2020 was that The Last of Us Part 2 would win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. I already think this game is going to be the best game of the year. I was always going high. It's going to be ranked among the best games of all time on OpenCritic. 97. I'd love to know the algorithm that put... And Mario Odyssey is a phenomenal game, don't get me wrong, but I'd love to know the algorithm that put Mario Odyssey at 97. As a side note. Above everything. But that's where I'm going.
Well, if it hits your number, that means you beat me on this, but then I go ahead of you on fantasy.
I can... Look, I can...
Like, I'm okay with that.
I can push on in Fantasy Critic. I've got more open slots than you.
Yeah, but I've got more money. I've got
more versatility. I can move.
I thought you were gonna go high. I did think you were gonna go high.
Of course, I was gonna go high. I was always gonna go high. It's The Last of Us Part 2. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
97 on OpenCritic. That's where I'm going.
Oh, I'll say right now, Lisa, I'm rooting for that number because that'll be amazing.
Can I just say that? Can I just say, because of the way this game works, I was really tempted to be like 100. I was going to put it down. And y'all wouldn't get 2 points. But I was for the memes. I was going to be like 100. Because I would have still been good. Even if it had gotten, even if I was closest, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rooting for this game because that, if that guy gets a 97, oh no, even if it just gets a 95 and everything, but it's
and
like
90 plus.
Through to all you haters who have literally bitched and moaned about this game, who know the leaks and everything like that. Literally, that's like that. It's literally that, and you've literally lost us because of that and everything. So, come on, 95.
The Last of
but
Us
secretly
Part
rooting for 97.
Part 2. We've never had a draw before. Hopefully I won't have to figure out what the rules of a draw next week. But for now, that's going to do it. Let's wrap up. Let's do a post-show discussion.
Yeah, you want to bitch about Bloodborne, don't
There's
you?
2 things I want to talk about. Like, that are on my mind. Because, we do post-show discussions, and it's like, we talk about whatever's on our mind on the post-show discussions. One, Bloodborne is fucking amazing. Holy God. I've fallen in love with that game all over again. Like, playing it. I streamed it for my birthday, 4.5 hours more, on twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. Moody was there, on and off. And, I'm on my way. So here's my history with Bloodborne. I feel like I need to set the context here. Because I've had this figure for longer than today.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. My character looks like this, by the way, as well. I found these clothes.
Nice.
So I have always talked about Bloodborne. I've held it in very high regard. It's a game I respect, and it's a game I admire. When it came out in 2015, I think I probably played it for about 2 or 3 hours. And I enjoyed what I played, but at the time, I wasn't in the right headspace, really, for a game like Bloodborne. It is very challenging. It's tough. It's uncompromising. In my head, my heart just went in it. So I didn't play it. And I always said I wanted to go back. And it took me 5 years. But, in those intervening 5 years, Moody, I've fallen in love with the game in a very specific way that I've never fallen in love with any other game. Because I've watched people play this game casually on Twitch, on YouTube. I've watched speedrun after speedrun after speedrun. I've watched people do no-hit runs, where they go through the whole game, and they don't get hit once. They don't take any damage. Fucking mental. Right?
I got hit on our first fight.
I got hit by the first enemy in the game.
You were doing that, you were like, well, I'm starting to get already, aren't I?
Yeah. I have read into the lore. I have watched lore videos. I'm a bit obsessed with the game without played it very much. Mm-hmm. And it was always that case of I'll go back to it eventually. But it's an intimidating game, really. It's a From Software game. It's the first half. It's the second half of Soulsborne, which is code for this game will beat the fucking shit out of you if you let it. So it's intimidating, right? And the longer it goes on, the more it's in your head. It's in my head of just it's going to be too hard. I'm not going to be able to do it. So I set myself the challenge of being it's my birthday. Fuck it, we'll have fun with it, right? If I do shit, I'll make a funny stream out of it. And you know what? There were moments. On stream. I did not do very well. But we had fun with it. There were moments I beat the first boss in one go. I ran in, Cleric Beast. I was like, cool, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to try again. Didn't even need to. Boss went down. We kept going. Moody, Foxes, our friend, was in chat.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Red Bearded Fox. Shout out to, he's your co-host. Shout out to the Glorious Movie Show. And he said at the very beginning of the stream when he showed up, Bloodborne was his favourite game. Yeah, and I'm like, and then in that case, I'm honoured that you're here to watch me butcher it. To just butcher your favourite game in front of you. Moody, I think I'm on my way to Bloodborne being one of my favourite games of all time. I finished the stream because I had to, because I needed to eat, and then I needed to come do this podcast. I did not want to stop. I wanted to keep going. If I wasn't now committed to streaming it because I said, look, I'm going to keep fucking streaming this because this game is fucking amazing. I would finish this podcast and you would say, "Do you want to play Apex for a bit?" And I'd be like, "No, thank you. I'm going to yawn them." And I'm going to keep playing Bloodborne, but because it's streaming, I won't do that. Like, I have been thinking about that game since I stopped playing it before. And I finished like
That's
half
fantastic.
4. I finished like half 4. It was 6 hours ago, maybe. I didn't finish it half 4. It was 5 hours ago I finished. And I've been thinking about it for the last 5 hours.
That's amazing.
I fucking love this game. In a new way. In a new way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's how it is for me, like for some games or some TV shows or some films and everything like that. Like, you just get it and you're just like, I have to watch this. I have to rewatch this again. It was what it was. It's everything that I needed. That's how it's with me with She-Ra. Right now, I've connected like hell. You and Keith, I love you both for shouting that out to me and suggesting it. I watched it and I'm in love with it. End of the month, I'm buying that t-shirt I suggested in our chat. I can't wait. I'm going to wear it on the podcast. Loud and proud. Catch her forever, ladies and gentlemen. Love that girl. Can't wait to see. Hopefully see more.
I do love She-Ra. It's fucking phenomenal.
I think it's funny. You were already ahead of me. Yeah, I've finished it all before.
Well, Keith was so mad. So we played Apex Legends the other day, right? And like, it was off stream. It was just, we were just playing privately because we were just having fun, because it was like, it's been a terrible fucking week. And we just needed to blow off some steam. And we were playing it. And Keith was like, "You haven't watched She-Ra yet, have you?" And I went, "No." I thought about it, but then I texted you guys to see if you wanted to play Apex Legends. And then he was like, you could tell he was mad, but he was like, "It's fine because we're playing a game together." But then it was what I told him next, where I was like, "Yeah, like me and Moody were playing earlier in the day, and there was this big space in between where we weren't playing." And I said, "I thought about watching She-Ra, but instead I watched Avengers Endgame." And he was so mad at me because I hadn't watched She-Ra.
It was like when you went off like that, like, to go stretch your leg and everything, and then he started chatting to me about it, and he was like, I feel the enthusiasm in him. Yeah. He really wants to talk to you about this show.
I fucking love it, right? And it's just one of those things where I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Avengers Endgame thing was a bit of a low blow, though, like, but that's on me. That's on me. Like, I watched a 3-hour movie instead of watching, like, because 3 hours is like what the rest of She-Ra for me. Like, I could have watched the whole thing in the time it took me to watch Avengers.
Yeah,
like,
you'll be pretty much at the end. Yeah, if not
like I will. End. Okay, I will. I will. I love that show.
Yeah, it's a fabulous show. If anyone hasn't seen it, ladies and gentlemen, Netflix, go check it out. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's amazing.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about is the PlayStation 5 event. What do you think? Do you think next week, Thursday. Or do you think they hold? You think next week?
I think it'll be on Thursday. I think delaying it a week. I think that's what everyone's done, right? Like all the stuff from Saturday, like that was supposed to be on Saturday, got moved to the following Saturday. Like IGN's doing their thing starting tomorrow, starting today actually. If you're listening to this podcast, the day it goes out. So I think it'll be Thursday. I think they'll probably talk about it tomorrow. Like they couldn't have really announced it last week. I think they'll probably talk about it. They'll talk about it Monday, Tuesday, I think. That's what I think. It might not be the case. Like, I don't know.
If it's not next week, they aren't going to do it the week Last of Us comes out at all. So that means it'll probably be the week after that. After that. Or the beginning of July.
You're starting to constrict that timeline more and more. Like they need to do it as fast as possible. Like, and I get why they didn't do it on June 4th. Makes perfect sense to me. Like, it was the right thing to do. But from their business perspective, they need to do it now. Essentially, now would be the best time to do it. So I think this Thursday, I think they'll have bumped it a week. They out of respect didn't say they were doing it in a week. I think come Monday we'll know. That's my speculation.
Hopefully on Friday, you and me will do a video to talk about the awesomeness that was the PlayStation 5 reveal event.
If we'll do that video, if that happens. If not, it'll hopefully be my Resident Evil 3 Nemesis retrospective review.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been working on that. That's Resident Evil 3 from 1999, not the one that came out in March.
How many times do you reference the remake?
No comment.
Do I want to ask this?
No comment. I feel bad, right? Because Last of Us won the Twitter poll, right? And I got skittish of The Last of Us because I was going to stream it, and then the spoilers broke, and then I was like, if I stream The Last of Us, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I played Resident Evil because, I don't know, I was just like, I want to go back because Resident Evil 3 2020 disappointed me. I wanted to see what 3 Nemesis looked like through the filter of having played the remake. And then I'm doing that video, and then I was like, cool, I'll do The Last of Us next, but the spoiler thing is still there. So I'm going to do The Last of Us, but it is going to come after The Last of Us Part 2. It is going to be later on in the year. Bloodborne, the game that finished third in the poll, is now the game I'm streaming. Just because I was like, I said it then when I reinstalled it, I have the itch.
Yeah.
And that itch didn't go away. And I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time. And I thought I was just going to stream it once, and we were going to get a funny stream out of it. Nah, I'm going. Maybe I'll go all the way to the end. Maybe I'll not.
Well,
who knows?
That's fantastic. I think that's what we all are looking for. Like right now, like I'm doing that with The Last of Us. I am replaying The Last of Us right now, and also like when if you make Keith, like we hop on the Apex, we need something to distract us right now, and that's fantastic. Like you finding that game that's going to distract you for a while. That's what I think we all need and everything. So we all need that little bit of escapism.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about wrong game, wrong time, before, which is like, it's a phenomenon. You pick up a game, even if you're hyped for it, if you're not, but sometimes it's just not the game you need at that particular moment. Like, sometimes that can be hard as a YouTube games reviewer, because sometimes you pick up a game and you're just like, this is the wrong game for the wrong time. But unfortunately, it's out, so this is the game I have to play, like, right now. Bloodborne was the inverse of that. Bloodborne was the right game at the right time. It was exactly the game I needed it to be. For what I needed it to be. And I'm really looking forward. Unfortunately, I kind of promised Fixer that on Monday night I would stream Leon B. Because he caught me streaming Claire, Resident Evil 2, his favourite game of all time, the other day. And he asked me in his stream the other day, like, oh, when are you doing Leon B? And I was like, I don't know, probably Monday. Like, because I knew I was doing the birthday stream. I was like, probably Monday night. I really want to stream Bloodborne, but I did kind of promise him I was streaming Resident Evil 2, so I'm going to be streaming Resident Evil 2.
Well, you completed 2 really fast. With Leon, you should be able to do it faster as well.
Yeah, so. It's Leon B. I tell you what, though. I completely did not think about this until I was standing in front of the Raccoon Police Department, but that game is about a lot of cops. And that felt a bit awkward at times. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, this game takes place in a fucking police station.
Yep.
Oh, dear. Luckily, it was fine. I shot a zombie. Yeah. I shot a die copper. Oops, I mean die zombie. Everybody laughed. And then we moved on. Like... But it was a bit weird at first, where it was like, I was reading these situation reports, and like...
Definitely, yeah.
It was like, oh, shit. What have I done?
What's the second thing you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Bloodborne.
This one's another personal thing. It's one of the reasons why I've been so all over the place, and it's one of the things that it kicked off on Twitter yesterday, so Saturday, I guess. Yeah, so we talked about it on this podcast a couple of times. It's going to be revealed sometime probably in the next month or two, but like I'm throwing it out there right now, Moody. I can't talk about Harry Potter anymore. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I've tried to do that thing of separating like the thing from the person who makes it, and it's just I can't anymore. Like, I can't even think about Harry Potter without thinking about J.K. Rowling basically being extremely anti-transgender. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw it out on a podcast and just say, look, when this game gets revealed, like, it'll, like, if you're excited, you want to talk about it, that's cool. It's not going to be on whatever video or podcast we do about whatever show it gets revealed at, because I just can't do it. So I want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Your last night was horrible. to like experience, and it was also really it was horrible to experience because it happened, and then like I become aware of this stuff the same way I become aware of everything because I follow a lot of transgender people on Twitter. Like that's just that's just what happens, and something kind of beautiful happened at the same time. Like not at the same time, but as it was going on, and I was looking through Twitter and I was seeing all these people talking about it. Is then people who don't normally talk about this stuff started talking about it. And the first one I got to when I was like feeling pretty down, and then all of a sudden I just saw a tweet from Danny O'Dwyer that referenced what was going on with a link to a fundraiser for black transgender women in America, and like that like at that moment seeing that tweet was everything. Like, and then
Yeah.
more and more people that I started following from like the gaming space and stuff like that that don't normally talk about this stuff started talking about this stuff and talking, and it was like the clouds broke at that moment while I was going through all of this stuff on Twitter. But yeah, I want to throw it out. Look, I'm done with Harry Potter. I'm done with talking about it.
That's fair. That's fair. I just say, like, when I saw it this morning, I was thinking, it feels like she's completely forgotten what her books have done for so many people.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen. That's if you are straight, if you are gay, lesbian, queer, trans. She seems like she's completely forgotten all about that. That these have helped people choose who they wanted to be because of their character, because of the characters she wrote, and she seemed like she's throwing that,
throwing that back in people's
attacking
faces.
people, yeah, throwing them in their faces and everything like that. Like these people have basically made her one of the most richest, powerful people in the planet.
Yeah, I mean, we've known for a while. We've known the community has known for a while that she's been like this. Like, and it's one thing for it to say this. Like, I mean, it sounds horrible, but at this point, I'm fucking used to it from people like her, and like I can just tough it out. But during Pride, during everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter, and all the protests and the police violence, and like what you just thought, oh, this isn't about me. I'm gonna try and make it about me by saying this stuff. It's like it's been a traumatizing enough week without having to then get to the end of the week and see that shit. Like it's bad enough knowing that she's gonna say shit like that anyway, but like fucking Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? Like that's all that fucking Jesus Christ. There you go. That's my line. That's my quote. Put it on the back of the box.
Like it hurts me. Like I'm a fan of her books. I grew up with him. I fell in love with him and everything. And to see what it does to people, what she's doing to people is just, it's disgusting to see. Like I say to myself, I can separate the art from the person. But like it does. But then I question myself and thinking, you're making this hard for me to separate the art from the person he is. People, come on, like JK, you really are making that hard to do here. Like,
yeah, like I ain't got a problem with anyone that likes Harry Potter. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, some of my best friends are fucking. One of my friends has like Harry Potter everything. She's got all the wands. She's got the scarf. She's got her robes from the thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like whatever, man. Like, you do you, but it's not Harry Potter I'm angry at. It's J.K. Rowling. Like, if you support and love Harry Potter, fine, fair play. Just know that that's not something I want to talk about. And if you do try to talk to me about it, I am just going to say, kid, you just stop. But if you support J.K. Rowling, that's where I go, okay, look, we need to have a talk here.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Like, it's one and the other, you know what I mean? Like, it's separate for me. Like,
yeah.
And I wanted to get it off my chest now because at some point we know there's a Harry Potter game coming, and I'm just no, thank you.
Yeah. And and out of just respect for you, just in general and everything, like if that game is actually announced, will not talk about it at all.
Thank you.
Because
I knew you'd
I
understand.
don't want to do that to you or anything like that. That's putting you in a compromised position that I would never want to do that to you. So
That's cool. I'll just leave
it's
the
also
room.
your podcast, though.
I just like, oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah. If I say anything about it, I'll literally say the game looks dope, people, blah blah blah. But that's it, probably, and that'll be on my Twitter. It will not be around here. Okay. See, listen, that's how you do it, eh? This is how you do it. You be respectful.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I said, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, J.K. Rowling's not Harry Potter, whatever. Don't care. Never have. Yeah. It's that easy.
Yeah.
It's what we talked about. It's what I talked about at the very, very top of the show. And it's
Definitely.
what Moody has just demonstrated. And it's something we all need to demonstrate for the black people we love in our lives, but also everybody from a marginalized community that we love in our lives. You just have to listen. That's all you have to do. Listen and support. And that's what Moody's just done. In 5 minutes. Whatever, however long it's been. It's been amazing. That's a fantastic place to end this podcast. So, Moody, play us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode has been... we've had tears. We've had some hard, deep talks. But have been important to talk about. Like what you've just seen with what me and Amy have just talked about. A very important thing for her. And she needed to let it out. And this is what it's all about. Coming together and celebrating and helping each other out in any time you can. And I want to leave us on some of these very wise words that I got from a 1960s TV show. From Herman Musters himself. The lesson I want us all to learn, it doesn't matter what everyone looks like. You can be tall, you can be short, or fat, or thin, ugly, or handsome like myself and Amy. You can be black, or yellow, or white, or anything. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. What does matter is like what me and Amy have just proven today, is the size of your heart and the strength of your character. Be safe with one another. We love you all. I think I'm going to cry. Fuck it.
It's been that kind of episode. We're going to hug it out so bad when this lockdown is over.